Hey, stop scrolling, you've got to see this. Today we're diving deep into the world of hyper-realist painters who are changing the art world in 2025. These artists turn tiny details into big feelings. Breath-filled portraits, mirror-sharp reflections, city lights that almost hum. They don't just show skill, they change how galleries, collectors, and young painters see what's possible. If you love jaw-dropping detail and real emotion in paint, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. You won't believe what comes next. Alyssa Monks. Alyssa Monks, born in 1977 in New Jersey and now based in New York City, has become one of the most recognized hyper-realist painters of our time. She is best known for her striking oil paintings that feel almost photographic, yet carry layers of emotion beneath the surface. Many of her most iconic works feature people behind fogged glass, under running water, or surrounded by steam, where every droplet and strand of hair is captured with astonishing clarity. She builds her paintings with layers of oil glazes, giving them depth and luminosity that makes the skin tones glow and the light feel alive. But Alyssa's art is not only about technical brilliance. Her paintings often explore themes of vulnerability, healing, and loss. After the death of her mother, her work shifted to include raw expressions of grief and resilience, turning intimate human moments into powerful visual metaphors. For example, in one of her series, faces emerge from water, as if the figures are resurfacing from pain or rebirth. These works remind viewers of the fragility of life, yet also of its strength. Each of Alyssa's paintings can take weeks to complete as she carefully balances detail with atmosphere. She began her career rooted in classical figurative painting, but over time, she developed a language that mixes realism with emotional storytelling. Viewers often say her paintings feel alive, almost like watching a memory unfold in front of them. Her work has been shown in galleries and museums around the world and continues to inspire conversations about the human condition. Alyssa Monks demonstrates how hyperrealism can go beyond visual perfection to capture the deepest parts of our shared experiences. Jason de Graaf. Jason de Graaf, born in 1971 in Canada, is a hyperrealist painter who creates astonishingly detailed still lifes that blur the line between painting and photography. Unlike many artists who use oil, Jason works primarily in acrylic paint, a medium that dries quickly and requires incredible patience and precision. With it, he captures reflections, shadows, and textures so perfectly that viewers often think they're looking at photographs rather than canvases. Jason's paintings often feature everyday objects, glass jars, shiny marbles, metal containers, books, or even candy, yet he elevates them into something extraordinary. His mastery of light and reflection makes these familiar items appear both hyperreal and dreamlike. He frequently includes playful twists, like reflections that are subtly distorted or unexpected, causing viewers to stop and take a second look. A well-known piece called Latitude depicts stacked books and a glass vessel arranged in such a way that the reflections create a puzzle for the eye. People spend long periods studying his works, trying to figure out what's real and what's an illusion. Each of his paintings takes more than 100 hours to complete. Jason builds them slowly, applying countless layers to achieve depth and precision. But beneath the technical achievement, his art also carries humor and insight. He uses simple objects to reflect on life's little oddities, reminding us that beauty and meaning can be found in the ordinary. For Jason, spilled drinks, rolling marbles, or even a candy wrapper can become subjects of epic art. His ability to transform everyday scenes into visual wonders has earned him recognition in galleries and collections worldwide. Jason de Graaf shows us that hyperrealism is not just about mimicking reality, but about reimagining it in ways that are surprising, playful, and deeply engaging. Sharon Sprung. Sharon Sprung is an American painter best known for her intimate and powerful portraits, often of women. Born in the 1950s, she has spent her career focusing on the figure, celebrating the strength and individuality of her subjects. Her work blends realism with warmth, giving her portraits a glowing presence. One of her most widely recognized achievements was painting the official White House portrait of Michelle Obama, a piece that highlighted not just her technical mastery, but also her ability to capture dignity and character. Sprung's process is rooted in live sittings. She prefers working with models in her New York studio, building each painting with wet-into-wet oil techniques that create a soft, luminous finish. Light in her paintings feels almost tangible, wrapping gently around the figure. Many of her works depict women looking directly ahead, calm and confident, carrying an air of empowerment. Beyond her studio, Sharon Sprung has influenced generations of artists as a teacher at the Art Students League of New York, where she has mentored countless painters. What makes her work resonate is not just the likeness of her sitters, but the way she conveys their spirit. Each painting feels both intimate and respectful, reminding us that portraiture is as much about honoring presence as it is about appearance. Her art proves that when painted with care, a portrait can uplift, inspire, and preserve human dignity for generations. Sergey Piskunov. Sergey Piskunov is a Ukrainian hyperrealist painter born in 1989, known for his striking underwater portraits. His works often feature women submerged in water, surrounded by ripples, bubbles, and flowing hair that shimmer with light. One of his notable paintings, Girl in Pink 2, shows a young woman laughing beneath the surface, her pink swimsuit glowing against the cool tones of the water. Piskunov paints primarily in oils and acrylics, using bold, bright colors to create scenes that feel joyful and alive. What sets his work apart is the way he transforms the simple act of swimming into a celebration of freedom and vitality. His paintings are more than technically precise. They carry an emotional warmth that lifts the viewer's mood. Each canvas is filled with energy, as if the figures are moving just beneath the surface, suspended in a world of light and color. Having studied art formally, Piskunov later embraced hyperrealism as his true language. His work has been shown both in Ukraine and abroad, where audiences are drawn to its combination of technical skill and uplifting spirit. For him, painting is about releasing emotions onto canvas, creating a splash of positivity even in difficult times. His art reminds us that beauty and joy can be found in the simplest of moments, like the weightless laughter of a swimmer underwater. Gina Heyer. Gina Heyer is a South African painter born in 1983, celebrated for her hyper-realistic depictions of quiet, empty interiors. Instead of filling her canvases with figures, she focuses on spaces themselves, school halls, waiting rooms, and long corridors. These scenes are rendered with such precision that every floorboard, window pane, and chair feels lifelike. Yet there is always a sense of mystery. Light streaming through a dusty window or shadows stretching across the floor suggest that someone was there just moments before. In works like Forgotten Hall, she captures both stillness and anticipation, leaving the viewer to wonder about the unseen story. Heyer works mostly in oils, building up surfaces with patient detail until they resemble photographs, though with subtle adjustments that make the perspective feel slightly surreal. Influences from artists such as Vermeer, with his mastery of light, and Degas, with his sense of balance, echo in her approach. Alongside her studio practice, she also teaches art, known for her discipline and thoughtful process. Early recognition came through awards like the Salon competitions, confirming her unique voice in contemporary realism. Her interiors often feel dreamlike, as though they hold memories we can almost touch. Standing before one of her paintings, the viewer is drawn into silence, sensing that every empty room has a story waiting to be told. Luiz Escañuela. Luiz Escañuela is a Brazilian painter born in 1993 who has quickly become one of the leading new voices in hyperrealist portraiture. Working primarily in oil on large canvases, he paints the human face and body with extraordinary attention to detail, capturing every pore, freckle, and strand of hair. His portraits are often celebrated on social media, where his incredible skill has earned him a wide following. But beyond technique, Escañuela's work is about emotion and presence. He has a way of making viewers feel as though the person on the canvas is sitting right in front of them, breathing and alive. Escañuela originally trained in design and only discovered painting as a form of therapy. That personal connection still comes through in his art today, giving his portraits a raw, emotional quality that resonates with audiences around the world. By blending old master precision with modern subjects, Escañuela has created a style that is both technically dazzling and deeply human. Omar Ortiz. Omar Ortiz is a Mexican painter born in 1977, widely admired for his oil paintings of the human body. His art is known for its calm, quiet presence, figures resting, cloth draped, skin glowing softly under natural light. What makes Omar stand out is the way he strips down the scene. No busy backgrounds, no distractions, just figure, fabric, and atmosphere. His technique is all about subtlety. He works in layers, applying thin glazes that make skin look luminous, almost breathing. The result is a velvety texture where light bends gently around a shoulder, a hand, or the curve of fabric. His compositions often crop the figure in unexpected ways, a torso, a back, a set of hands, turning something ordinary into something universal. Viewers often describe his paintings as meditative. They're not loud or dramatic, but they hold you still, teaching you to notice small things. The warmth of skin, the silence of rest, the way sunlight brushes across cloth. In a world full of noise, Omar's paintings feel like a pause button, a reminder of beauty in simplicity. By focusing on restraint, mood, and sensitivity to form, Omar Ortiz has carved a unique place in hyperrealism. His canvases show that quietness can be just as powerful as spectacle. Robin Eley. Robin Eley, born in 1978 in London and raised in Australia, has developed a hyperrealist style that is instantly recognizable. His signature subject is the human figure wrapped in transparent plastic, painted with such exactness that every crease, wrinkle, and reflection in the material looks real. These works are both beautiful and unsettling, making us think about themes of isolation, vulnerability, and the barriers we place between ourselves and the world. His Wrapped series, which features portraits of men and women encased in layers of plastic, is one of his most acclaimed bodies of work. The paintings are painstakingly detailed, with reflections that shift across the surface and light that dances on the plastic's folds. Sometimes he even reinterprets famous works of art by covering them in plastic, adding a surreal twist and forcing viewers to reconsider what they know about art and reality. Robin's path to becoming an artist was international. After growing up in Australia, he studied in the United States and later split his time between different continents while developing his career. His first solo show, Singularity, was a sellout success, and since then he has gained international recognition for pushing hyperrealism in new directions. Robin Eley proves that hyperrealism is not just about duplicating reality, but about using reality as a lens to explore deeper truths. Roberto Bernardi. Roberto Bernardi is an Italian painter born in 1974, best known for his hyper-realistic still lifes that transform ordinary sweets and objects into dazzling works of art. His specialty is candy, brightly colored jelly beans, glossy lollipops, and shiny candy canes that almost sparkle on the canvas. In his famous Candy Shop series, Bernardi takes simple treats and elevates them into vibrant, almost playful puzzles of color and reflection. The way he paints light bouncing off a glass jar or the waxy surface of a gumball makes you pause and look twice, wondering if it's paint or the real thing. While he experimented with landscapes and portraits early on, it was still life that revealed his true talent. Each arrangement is carefully composed, as if he's choreographing the sweets to dance in light. He often paints alongside his wife, also an artist, and his career flourished internationally in the early 2000s with exhibitions in Rome, New York, and beyond. Collectors are drawn to his art because it's joyful, vibrant, and full of energy. Bernardi shows us that beauty doesn't always have to come from grand subjects. Sometimes it's in the ordinary, like a candy jar on a table, that magic is found. His paintings remind us of childhood wonder, where colors were brighter and small pleasures felt extraordinary. Vincent Giarrano. Vincent Giarrano is an American realist painter born in 1960 who has built his reputation around capturing the rhythm of New York City. His paintings show the energy of urban life, whether it's a busy street, a quiet cafe, or a figure walking through the city with confidence. Giarrano originally trained in illustration and even worked in comic books before shifting his focus fully to painting. That early background shows in the precision of his line and the narrative feel of his work. One of his celebrated series, called City Muse, portrays women navigating the city, sometimes pausing mid-stride, sometimes caught in the glow of neon lights or street reflections. He paints in oils with a striking sense of light and atmosphere. A rainy street at night, with its reflections of headlights and shop windows, becomes a glowing stage in his work. Giarrano also loves working in series, returning to the same subject over and over until he's captured it from every angle. His cityscapes feel authentic because he isn't just painting architecture, he's painting the heartbeat of urban life. His work has earned recognition and awards, but more importantly, it connects with people who see their own daily lives in his art. Standing in front of one of his canvases feels like stepping onto a New York street, hearing the buzz of traffic and the shuffle of footsteps around you. Pedro Campos. Pedro Campos, born in 1966 in Madrid, Spain, is a hyperrealist painter who has built his reputation on turning the most ordinary objects into extraordinary works of art. Using oil on canvas, he paints still lifes of items like soda cans, fruit wrapped in plastic, or glass bottles with such precision that they appear real enough to touch. His famous Coke trilogy paintings, which show Coca-Cola cans inside plastic grocery bags, have become iconic examples of how everyday objects can be transformed into something visually captivating. What makes Pedro's work so striking is the way he captures reflections, transparency, and color. Plastic bags, which most of us overlook, become luminous under his brush. You can almost feel the crinkle of the plastic or sense the coolness of a soda can through his detailed rendering. His still lifes are not just technical exercises, they invite viewers to pause and appreciate the beauty hidden in the simplest objects of daily life. Pedro's background adds another layer to his art. He started his career as an art restorer, working with centuries-old paintings and learning from the techniques of masters before him. He also spent time in graphic design and advertising, but eventually he devoted himself fully to fine art. That experience in restoration and design sharpened his sense of color, light, and precision, which shines through in his paintings. Leng Jun, born in 1963 in Sichuan, China, is often regarded as one of the greatest living masters of hyperrealism. His oil portraits are so detailed that they almost defy belief. Every strand of hair, every pore in the skin, every tiny reflection in the eyes is painted with such precision that his works are often mistaken for high-resolution photographs. Yet beyond the detail, his portraits have a soul, capturing the personality and inner life of his subjects. One of his most famous works, a modern reinterpretation of the Mona Lisa, gained international attention in the early 2000s and solidified his reputation as a master of the form. Leng spends hundreds of hours on a single canvas, carefully layering paint to create depth, texture, and subtle variations in skin tone. The result is not just a likeness, but a living presence on the canvas. Leng's art blends classical traditions with contemporary perspectives. His use of dramatic lighting recalls old masters like Vermeer or Da Vinci, while his choice of modern subjects brings a fresh and relatable edge. He often says his work is not just about technical skill, but about exploring truth through painting. His portraits invite viewers to slow down and truly see the individual before them, not just as an image, but as a complete human being. Philipp Weber. Philipp Weber, born in 1974 in Germany, has become widely admired for his moody, emotionally charged hyper-realist paintings. Working primarily in oil, he often focuses on the human figure, especially women, captured in moments of quiet reflection. What sets Philipp apart is his fascination with light and water. Many of his portraits feature skin glistening with dew or rain, creating a surface alive with tiny, delicate details. His painting Morning Dew is a perfect example, showing a woman's face covered with fine water droplets that seem so real you could almost feel their coolness. Philipp's style is both hyperreal and symbolic. The extreme realism of water, fabric, and skin draws you in, but behind the technical perfection lies an exploration of deeper meaning. He often uses water as a metaphor for life, renewal, or hidden emotions. His compositions feel cinematic, with dramatic lighting that heightens the mood and adds a layer of psychological depth. Weber works slowly and deliberately, sometimes spending weeks on a single canvas to achieve the exact play of light and shadow he envisions. This patience results in works that feel timeless and full of quiet intensity. His paintings have been exhibited internationally, gaining attention in Europe, the United States, and Asia. Sheryl Luxenburg. She's a Canadian painter who brings hyperrealism to life with acrylic and watercolor. What makes her story unique is that she worked as a psychotherapist for over 20 years before shifting into painting. That background shows in her art. She paints portraits that feel both delicate and powerful, often exploring strength and vulnerability. In 2025, Sheryl continues creating works that mix precision with emotion. Her technique is razor sharp. Skin, fabric, and reflections are painted with pointillist detail, tiny dots that glow when seen together. Yet the mood of her paintings is soft, calm, and deeply human. She studied with greats like Tom Blackwell of the photorealism movement, but added her own twist, layering empathy into every canvas. Viewers often say her work makes them pause, reflect, and feel hope. If you love art that's intimate and uplifting, Sheryl's portfolio is a must-see. Tjalf Sparnaay, a Dutch painter who calls himself a mega-realist. Born in 1954, Tjalf is still active in 2025, famous for making the ordinary look epic. His specialty? Everyday food blown up larger than life. Imagine a fried egg so detailed you can almost smell it, or a slice of watermelon so real you want to grab it off the canvas. He paints in oil, using bold colors and textures to transform simple subjects like soda cans, burgers, or fruit into monumental works of art. His painting Fried Egg is one of the best examples, turning breakfast into something unforgettable. What makes Tjalf's journey inspiring is that he didn't become a full-time painter until the 1990s, proving it's never too late to chase your passion. Now his work hangs in private collections, galleries, and all over Instagram. His art makes people smile because it shows that beauty can be found in the everyday. If you're into bold color, juicy detail, or just love food, Tjalf's canvases will blow your mind. Gottfried Helnwein, an Austrian-born painter from 1948 who remains one of the most striking hyperrealists in 2025. His style is huge, dramatic, and unforgettable. Helnwein paints on massive canvases, often focusing on children or figures in haunting situations. One of his most famous series, The Murmur of the Innocents, shows children painted so lifelike it's chilling. Helnwein isn't afraid of hard themes. His work explores pain, history, and trauma, from war memories to social issues, always pushing us to look closer. He uses oil and photography as tools, achieving detail that feels sharper than reality. Beyond galleries, he's worked on murals, stage designs, and even album covers for bands like Rammstein and the Rolling Stones. What sets him apart is his mix of photoreal precision with symbolic storytelling. A single image might feel beautiful and unsettling at the same time, forcing you to question what you see. Exhibited across Europe and the US, his paintings continue to provoke strong reactions. If you believe art should challenge as much as it impresses, Gottfried Helnwein is a name to remember. Denis Peterson. Let's talk about Denis Peterson, an American painter born in 1944 who is considered one of the pioneers of hyperrealism. Unlike many artists in the style, Denis doesn't just paint shiny objects. He paints people and their struggles. His canvases often show urban life, homelessness, and refugee experiences, all in incredible acrylic detail. Every wrinkle and flicker of light is captured with heart, turning a portrait into a story of resilience. Denis often spends time with his subjects before painting them, which gives his work honesty and dignity. His goal isn't just technical mastery, it's to create empathy and awareness through art. In fact, Denis was one of the first to use the word hyperrealism to describe this kind of work, setting it apart from photorealism by emphasizing social meaning. His paintings humanize those who are often overlooked, making viewers stop and reflect on the realities of the world around them. If you're into art with both skill and conscience, Denis Peterson will move you. Silas Onoja. Silas Onoja, a Nigerian painter who's been turning heads with his hyper-real oil portraits. Silas paints people caught in moments that feel private, faces wrapped in clear plastic, droplets of water on skin, eyes that look like they're about to tell you a story. His paintings stop you in your tracks because they look almost photographic, but they carry a deeper meaning. The plastic and the water aren't just effects, they're symbols of pressure, escape, and hope. What makes Silas special is how he uses texture. He paints glassy surfaces and wet skin so precisely that the light seems to slide right off the canvas. But beyond the technical skill, there's heart. His subjects often feel like real people from real places, familiar, tender, and brave. He grew up drawing everywhere he could, then trained in fine art, and now he shows work in exhibitions and online, always pushing to make each portrait feel alive. Silas also mixes drama with care. He'll paint a young person with water beading on their brow, and that single detail becomes a whole mood, vulnerability, relief, or a fresh start. Watching his paintings is like watching someone break free from an invisible barrier, and that emotional punch is what keeps people coming back. Atsushi Suwa. Atsushi Suwa is a Japanese realist painter born in Hokkaido in 1967. He trained in oil painting and completed a master's program at Musashino Art University in Tokyo. Early in his career, he spent 2 years in Spain on a residency, and that time abroad shaped his attention to light, surface, and memory. Suwa's work moves between portrait, landscape, and quietly observed narrative scenes. He is known for technical mastery, fine brushwork, delicate tonal shifts, and a patient layering of small details that add up to a strong atmospheric whole. Many of his canvases combine oil with pencil and silver point, blending traditional techniques to achieve both crisp edges and a soft, timeless glow. Suwa has been recognized in competitions, and his work appears in exhibitions and auctions internationally. Early awards and steady gallery attention underline how his technical rigor pairs with ideas about place, memory, and identity. Collectors are drawn to the combination of craft and concept. What makes Suwa compelling is that his realism never feels cold. The surfaces are exact, but the paintings also carry feeling, the trace of a life lived. His images ask viewers to slow down, to read detail like a sentence, and to find the human story beneath the surface. Raphaella Spence. Raphaella Spence, born in 1978 in London, is a painter celebrated for her vibrant cityscapes. Working mainly in oil, she creates urban panoramas that capture both the scale of the modern city and the energy that pulses within it. Her paintings are highly detailed, every window, every streetlight, every reflection, but beyond accuracy, she builds a sense of life and atmosphere. Spence often works from photographs she takes herself, sometimes stitching multiple perspectives together. From these references, she constructs canvases that feel cinematic, almost like stills from a film. Cities at dusk, glass towers reflecting neon, rain-soaked streets catching light. Her work glows with movement and rhythm. What makes her art powerful is the way she includes the human presence in subtle ways. A single lit apartment window, a lone figure walking, or the suggestion of lives inside the buildings. She shows not just the grandeur of the city, but also its intimacy. Her paintings invite viewers to wonder, to notice both the overwhelming architecture and the small details that make cities feel alive. Raphaella Spence has become one of the most recognized names in contemporary photorealism, proving that the city itself can be a landscape full of beauty, mystery, and storytelling. And that wraps up our look at some of the most incredible hyperrealist painters shaping the art world today. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next deep dive into the artists and movements transforming today's art. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep looking closely. You'll be amazed at what art reveals.